Hello and welcome back to day 10 of the Guilt Gratitude Challenge. This is a big one for me because this is where I get stuck with guilt. So, the first one we talked about yesterday was the first belief of the ego, which is lack or sadness. The second belief of the ego is attachment, which creates anger or frustration. So, when you look at your guilt again, do you feel more sad? Do you more angry? Or do you feel more fearful? Fear, control, we're going to work on tomorrow. Today, we're going to be working on attachment. So, remember yesterday we said that the reason sadness exists is because we perceive that we're separate from God, and that's why we feel a sense of lack. Then, as a result of that sense of lack, is the second belief the ego gets formed, which is attachment. And attachment simply says, if I have this outside of me, then I will feel better. Such as, if I have approval, then I will feel better. If I have this outcome, I will feel better. If I have this body image, I will feel better. If this occurs, then I feel better. Okay? And basically, what the ego believes is that my validation, who I am, is outside of me. So I've literally given up the power to something else. So instead of owning the power of the divine, I've given the anger is a smokescreen to say, hey, look, you put your power somewhere else. You're only going to feel better if you have this. You're only going to feel better if. Okay? And something I haven't talked about, I don't think, on these calls yet, is that powerlessness to anger. So powerlessness, guilt, depression, anxiety, fear is down here. Anger and rage are up here. And joy is up here. We talk a lot about this in the group coaching class. Our comfort level with anger is the key to get us out of powerlessness, fear, anxiety, and guilt. Comes up in the relationships and health group coaching because all chronic health issues have a chronic fear side to them, or powerless. Why does it come up in entrepreneurship? Because what do entrepreneurs do all the time? They're scared. I got to work. So our relationship with anger is a big part. We want to see that we're attached to something which is creating the frustration, anger. The ego says, if I have this, then I am whole. Because the first belief of the ego says, I am lacking, thereby I am sad. The second belief says, go get this, and then you're whole. So what do you do with that? So first thing is you have to see it. You have to say, okay, I can feel some anger here. And if you're like me, you may have been raised to discount your anger. You're not allowed to feel anger. Anger is not safe. And in certain spiritual, communities, anger is not allowed. Okay? So first is you have to see it. And how do I know that I'm feeling anger and not expressing it? Is everything around me will make me feel anger. In fact, I was playing pickleball earlier today and somebody hit me really hard in my wrist. I was like, oh, I was already feeling a bubbling of anger before. And then it just so there were like 3 things in a row that made me angry. I'm like, okay, the universe is talking to me. So step 1, you have to see it. Step 2, hold in your body. Where in your body do you feel it? Just put your hand over that area and just breathe 2 or 3 times. When you exhale, you tell your nervous system, I see you and I feel you. Once that settles a bit, look at what you think outside will make you happy. Okay? This must happen for me to be happy. I must have this body size for me to be happy. This outside of me has to be happy. So look at where your attachment is. What am I attached to? The next step is under the anger. Go under anger, under. What's under the anger? For some of us, we don't have a boundary and we're asking for respect. And it might be a way of speaking for that respect of that boundary with kindness and love. I deeply need you to hear me. The anger often comes up because we're not speaking our worth. Sometimes under that anger is another emotion of like, Jesus, I forgot how good I am. I forgot how incredible I am. I forgot my value. And sometimes it's just for you. Wow. I so am looking outside of me, but I forgot in me is this powerhouse. And then the last step is to speak. Speak your inner truth. What is my worth saying? Sometimes the worth is saying, I'm just not happy. Sometimes the worth is saying, come on. Sometimes the worth is saying, come on, Divi, come on. You know you're worth it all. So a couple of things to remember. All anger is not anger at somebody else, but anger at myself. And a lot of times, The anger is us not speaking up for ourselves. The anger is not us acknowledging our own worth. The anger is looking outside for worth. Sometimes the anger is I don't have boundaries. All of these things are things that we can shift and change. But first, in order to access the shift and change, we need to feel it. And there's healthy ways to feel anger. We have to, just let ourselves bubble it up. You don't need to express it or scream at somebody. You can even hit a pillow just to start to feel it. But then those next pieces of what am I attached to? What's going on here? What is the anger really telling me? What does it need to speak? That will really start to move it. Amazing work. I'm sending you so much love. What a beautiful, beautiful conversation. Share with me below in the chat box how this is.